We're going to explain the can't find resource for bundle java.util.PropertyResourceBundle error in JSP. This error typically pops up when your JSP page tries to access a properties file, a file containing key value pairs used for internationalization, I18N, or configuration, but the server can't locate it. Let's break down the common causes and how to fix them. 1. Incorrect file path. The most frequent culprit is an incorrect path specified when you try to load the properties file. Double-check the path you're using in your JSP code. Make sure it's relative to the correct directory within your web application. If you're using a relative path like messages properties, it assumes the file is in the same directory as your JSP. An absolute path, e.g., webinf classes messages properties, should point to the correct location within your web application structure. 2. Missing file. It sounds obvious, but confirm the properties file, messages.properties or whatever you've named it, actually exists in the specified location. Check for typos in the file name. Case sensitivity matters on some systems. Ensure the case matches precisely. 3. Wrong encoding. The properties file uses a specific encoding, often UTF-8 or ISO 88591. If the encoding isn't correctly specified, or if the file contains characters not supported by the encoding, this can lead to the resource not being found. Make sure your properties file is saved with the correct encoding, and in your JSP code, you may need to explicitly specify the encoding when loading the properties, though this is less common with PropertyResourceBundle. 4. Deployment issues. After making changes to your properties file or its location, ensure you've properly redeployed your web application. If you're using an IDE, make sure the changes are reflected in your server's class path. A server restart might be necessary. 5. Server configuration. In rare cases, the server's configuration might be interfering with the ability to find resources. This is less likely, but it's something to consider if the above solutions don't work. Check your server's documentation for any relevant settings related to resource loading. 6. Class not found exception. Indirect cause. Sometimes, a class not found exception related to a class that uses this bundle can mask the real issue. If you see a class not found exception, address that first. The root cause might be a missing dependency or a problem with your build process. Once you've solved that, revisit the properties file issue. 7. Typographical errors. Double-check your code for typos in both the file path and the calls to access the properties file's resources. Even a small mistake can prevent the resource from being found. Carefully review every character and ensure that paths and file names are accurate. Solving this error usually involves a systematic check of these points. Verify the existence and correct location of the properties file. Examine the path used in your code, ensure the correct encoding, and confirm proper deployment and server configuration. Remember to rebuild and redeploy your application after making